So, you've decided to start keeping layers. Congratulations. But now the big question is, what exactly do you do from the moment those tiny day-old chicks arrive? How much should they eat? How do you keep them warm without expensive equipment? How do you reduce mortality? And when should you vaccinate them to keep them healthy? In this video, I'll take you step by step through the first 30 days of raising 100 chicks, showing you exactly what to do each week. Let's get started right from the beginning, preparing for the arrival of your chicks. Before your chicks arrive, preparation is everything. For this video, we'll use 100-day-old chicks as an example, but the same steps apply no matter how many you start with. First, choose a safe, quiet and warm place for them to stay. This is called the brooder. For 100 chicks, make sure the brooder is wide enough for all of them to move freely without crowding. You don't need exact measurements. The key is enough space for comfort and easy observation, which you keep adjusting as they grow. Line the floor with dry bedding, like wood shavings or rice husks. Avoid slippery surfaces. The bedding should be thick enough to cushion their tiny feet, and you can cover with brooding papers, which can be old newspapers. Next, prepare the heat source. For 100 chicks, you might use 2 small charcoal stoves, a few heat lamps, or an electric bulb if you have electricity. The goal is to have the brooder warm uniformly. If you're using charcoal, light it carefully and let it burn down until it gives gentle heat. Test it with your hand. It should feel like standing in warm sunlight, not burning. If it feels too hot, reduce the charcoal or move the stove further away. For the first week, provide 23 hours of light and 1 hour of darkness per day. From week 2 to week 4, you can gradually reduce to about 20 hours of light daily. The light helps chicks see feed and water clearly and keeps them active. If you're using bulbs for heat, that light can also serve as their main light source. Just make sure the brooder stays bright enough at night. You'll also need feeders and drinkers. For 100 chicks, 3 or 4 small feeders and a couple of shallow drinkers are enough. Make sure everything is clean and ready. You can add a little glucose or vitamin solution in their water if available to help the chicks recover from transport stress. As part of preparation, you should also have an idea of the total feed needed for the first 30 days. For 100 chicks, roughly 62 kilograms of chick starter mash will be enough to cover the first month. But don't worry about the daily amounts yet. We will talk about feeding day by day when it's time to serve it. Vaccination is another important part of preparation. In this video, we'll show a simple example schedule for beginners. Your hatchery may have already given some vaccines, and schedules can vary depending on your location or your vet's advice. For instance, day-old chicks often receive Marek's and Newcastle vaccines at the hatchery. Remember, this is just an example. Always confirm with local guidelines or your hatchery. Once the brooder is set up, bedding is in place, water and feeders are ready, heat is adjusted, and you have an idea of total feed and vaccination plans, your chicks are ready to arrive. Taking the time to prepare properly ensures they start healthy and strong, making the first 30 days much easier for you and your birds. The day your chicks arrive is very important. When you get the box, open it carefully and bring the chicks straight to the brooder. Avoid drafts or cold air. They are tiny and fragile, and the first few hours matter a lot for their health. Place the chicks near the heat source. You'll notice them huddling together at first. This is normal. If they crowd tightly, it means they feel cold. If they scatter far from the heat and pant, it's too hot. Adjust your charcoal, lamps or bulb so they are warm inside the brooder. The goal is for them to walk, stretch and explore freely without stress. It is a good idea to separate weak ones and put them in a separate place while maintain the same conditions. Next, water is the priority. Dip the beaks of a few chicks, especially weak ones, gently into the shallow drinkers so they learn where to drink. Once a few drink, the rest will follow. Make sure the water is clean and changed frequently. For the first day, adding a little vitamin or glucose solution can help them recover from transport stress. Now it's time to feed. For this first week, each chick will eat about 12 grams per day. For your flock of 100 chicks, that adds up to 1.2 kilograms of feed per day, or roughly 8.4 kilograms for the week. Spread a small amount on a clean tray, brooder paper or plate so they can easily see it and peck at it. After the first day or two, move the feed into the feeders to reduce waste, and always check that it stays fresh and dry throughout the day. Around day 7, your chicks may need their first vaccine. Newcastle and infectious bronchitis, usually given as eye drops or a spray. These vaccines protect against common respiratory diseases. Keep in mind, this is just an example. Vaccination schedules can vary depending on your hatchery, vet, or local guidelines. During this first week, watch your chicks carefully. Healthy chicks are active, alert, and pecking at feed. If any are quiet, isolated, or have wet droppings stuck to their bottom, they may need attention. Clean gently with warm water and make sure they stay warm afterward. By the end of the first week, your chicks should be drinking, feeding, and moving around comfortably. The brooder should be clean, warm, and quiet, and you should have a daily routine for checking feed, water, heat, and overall health. A strong first week sets the foundation for a healthy second week. As you move into the second week, your chicks are getting stronger and more active. You'll notice them walking and running around more, stretching their wings, and exploring their space. This is a good sign that they are healthy and adjusting well. Keep an eye on how they move under the heat. They should spread out naturally, moving between the warmer and cooler areas of the brooder. Water is still a priority. Make sure it's always clean and fresh. Check several times a day because even a short period of dirty or no water can make chicks sick or weak. Feeding now increases. In week 2, each chick will eat about 18 grams per day. For your 100 chicks, that's 1.8 kilograms per day, or roughly 12.6 kilograms for the week. Keeping the feed dry and fresh is important to prevent illness. Around day 10 to 12, it's time for their Gumboro vaccine. This is usually given in the drinking water and protects their immune system from a disease that can weaken chicks and make them more vulnerable to other illnesses. Mix it carefully following the instructions and make sure every chick drinks. It's normal for some to be hesitant at first, but most will drink once they learn where it is. If some are isolated, have wet droppings, or appear weak, check their warmth, feed, and water immediately. Some may develop pasty vent. Gently clean it with warm water and keep the chick warm afterward. By the end of week 2, your chicks should be more confident, feeding well, and beginning to grow stronger. This is also the time to start planning the second Gumboro dose around day 18. Keeping up with feeding, water, heat, and vaccinations now ensures a smooth transition into week 3. By week 3, your chicks are growing quickly and becoming more active. This is the time to adjust the heat. If you're using charcoal, reduce the amount slightly, or if you're using lamps, raise them a little higher. You'll notice the chicks start spreading out more as their feathers develop, which is a good sign that the temperature is just right. Water must remain clean and fresh. Check it several times a day and refill as needed. Feed now increases again. In week 3, each chick will eat about 26 grams per day. For 100 chicks, that's 2.6 kilograms daily, or about 18.2 kilograms for the week. Around day 18, it's time for the second Gumboro vaccine, given in drinking water. This booster strengthens their protection. Make sure all chicks have access and drink enough. Continue observing for any signs of pasty vent or unusual behavior and address them promptly to keep the chicks healthy. Moving into week 4, each chick will eat about 33 grams per day. For your flock of 100, that totals 3.3 kilograms per day or 23.1 kilograms for the week. Feeding should be consistent, small amounts multiple times a day if possible, at least twice a day, and fresh water must always be available. If your vaccination schedule includes Newcastle and infectious bronchitis boosters around day 21, this is the time to give them. Use eye drops, spray, or water administration as instructed. During these last days of the first month, keep observing your chicks closely. They should be active, alert, and eating well. Adjust bedding if it becomes wet and maintain a clean, dry brooder. By the end of week 4, your chicks will have grown noticeably, their feathers developing, and they'll be ready for the next stage of care as they continue toward point of lay. Let's quickly recap what you've done. You prepared the brooder with enough space and dry bedding, set up a proper heat source, provided clean water and feeders, and followed a consistent feeding plan. You gave the right amount of starter feed each week, 12 grams per chick in week 1, 18 grams in week 2, 26 grams in week 3, and 33 grams in week 4, gradually increasing as the chicks grew. You also administered vaccines as an example schedule, understanding that these can vary depending on your hatchery, local regulations, or veterinary advice. During this month, you may encounter some common problems. Chicks may huddle too tightly if they're cold or scatter if it's too hot. Some may develop pasty vent, which can be gently cleaned with warm water. Wet or dirty bedding bedding can lead to sickness, so maintaining cleanliness is important. Watch for lethargic chicks or those that stop feeding and drinking, as early intervention can prevent losses. As you move beyond the first 30 days, the chicks will continue growing rapidly. You'll transition them to larger feeders and drinkers, gradually reduce supplemental heat as they feather fully, and continue the vaccination and deworming schedule according to your hatchery or vet's guidance, by paying attention to their behavior, feed intake, and general health. Now you'll be prepared to raise strong, healthy layers that produce well in the future. The first 30 days may seem challenging, but with consistent care, observation, and practical routines, your chicks will thrive. Remember, healthy habits and close attention early on save time, effort, and stress later. If you found this guide helpful, don't forget to check out my online store. You can download practical toolkits for every beginner, including feeding guides, feed calculators, planner, etc. The link is right there in the description. And before you go, make sure to watch the next video on your screen. I will show you how to manage your poultry farm from far away and still stay fully in control, preventing theft and losses. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, like, and share this video to help other beginners learn too. And in the comments, tell me what topic you'd like me to cover next. I will see you in the next one.